My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Slice and Dice 3.0! In the last episode we unlocked the shortcut mode, which skips the first 8 fights, giving you a random assortment of characters and items for that point in. I'm gonna go for it. I believe there will be an achievement locked behind doing this as well. Now, do I go for unfair, or do I sit in hard for a little period of time? Unfair gets pretty unfair. I think I'm gonna take hard again for this episode. Okay. Monster shields. At the start of each turn, shield 1 to all enemies. Oof. Expensive spells. Spells cost +1 mana. Oof as well. Skulk. During the first turn, +1 pip to all enemy sides. Oof, oof, oof. And finally, odd single use. All heroes add single use to their odd sides. Oh no. The Guardian would lose their engaged sides. The Berserker would lose their Death Wish and Cleave. The Trapper would lose their vulnerable sides. Ugh. I think expensive spells is probably the one that I'm most fine with here. Let's take it. Spells cost +1 mana. Then we have a assortment of 4 items already. Hex. Kill an enemy with exactly 6 HP, ranged. Single cast. There's also the Wrist Blade. Replace blank sides with 1 damage double use. Oh, that seems great. 1 damage double use, especially when I have the Trapper, who's capable of giving enemies vulnerable. Vulnerable again gives those enemies, for the rest of the rest of the turn, 1 extra damage from dying abilities. There's also the twin daggers here. Replace the top and the bottom sides with 1 damage cantrip. I'm gonna give that to the Splint, who otherwise has heal 5 single use on those sides. Big shield. Replace left side with shield 4. And I'm gonna give the Wrist Blade to the Guardian. So, mana. You can keep up to 3 mana at the end of a turn, and you can use it to cast a variety of spells. You always have access to Burst, which gives 2 damage to an enemy target, or 2 shield to an allied target. And then your other spells are determined by your red and your blue characters. So Splint gives us the spell Bandage for 2 mana, 3 because of our modifier, but 2 mana by default. Heal and shield 1, single cast and cleave. So only 1 time a turn, I choose a target, and both it and the targets on each side, I give 1 healing and 1 shield to. There's also Sparky. 1 mana. Oh, they changed Zap. 1 mana Zap. Kill an enemy with exactly 2 HP. Cooldown can only be cast once per turn, so obviously it's 2 mana because of our modifier as well still. And then there's Hex. Kill an enemy with exactly 6 HP ranged, single cast. Costs 3, but it'll cost 4 for us right now. Militia, again, a new type of enemy that we encountered in the last episode, says they flee if a target gets 5+ shields. Guardian is capable of giving 5+ shields to themselves with a single action. Cool, that'll make the Militia run away. I'm gonna have the Berserker also keep their 4 damage pain side. They have a lot of HP, so they can do these giant 4 damage sides. Sparky and Splint both hit their best sides. Sparky has a 2 damage side that also has mana gain, so you gain 2 mana while you do 2 damage. And Splint has +3 mana on a single use side. Gain mana and cast a spell. Don't mind if I do. So this top Slimer has 6 HP. Kill an enemy with exactly 6 HP at range. This will give me the ability to avoid actually doing the 5th damage to the enemy, so I don't even have to give them the ability to summon a Slimelet. I bypass that entirely. Guardian makes the other one run away, and then between the Berserker and the Berserker and Trapper, we're capable of killing the Slimer. Bones and Imps. We may not have actually encountered an Imp last episode. Oh wow, we definitely didn't, because I haven't seen this new side for them. 3 sides say 4 damage to a target, 2 sides say 1 damage poison. This side says 8 damage death. So if the Imp hits us with this, they die, but they also do 8 damage. They're also spiky, so they damage attackers by 1 when we hit them. Vampire's spell is Infuse, heal 1 to all allies. It's also cruel, so it does double effect to heroes on half or less HP. And then there's Glow, the spell for the Disciple. Replace blank sides with heal and shield 2 this turn. Also only costs 1 mana. The Vampire has 2 sides that do 2 damage and self-heal for 2. Very easy to, by inspection here, see 2 mana, 2 sides that do that, and 1 heal 5 side. A lot of these are very easy to read the effect of just visually. Heal 2, double use, 2 sides of that for the Disciple, who also has the ability to revive the topmost defeated ally. I'll take the Vampire. I like having a little potential to do damage in my red character. Twin Daggers is probably not useful at this point, especially because Sparky would be replacing 0 damage charged sides. Charged sides do extra damage, or 1 extra pip worth of their effect, for each stored mana. So that can be pretty impactful. Ooh. So the Berserker is currently actively being killed this turn by an imp, which means they have Death Wish active, the ability to do twice as much damage because they are currently dying this turn. I'll prevent them from dying before we get to the end of the turn, but it's cool to exploit it whilst they are. I'm gonna let that imp attack me so that it dies as well. Let's take out the bones on the bottom side. And then I'll defend you. And I'll set up for the ability to zap the imp on the bottom side to defend the final guardian. And we leave only 6 pips worth of health even available on the field for the enemies. Very efficient turn. This'll do it. Let's just execute the imp, as it has 4 or less HP, and then the Berserker finishes them off for us. Bag of Holding. Whoa! Bag of Holding, +2 item slots for a character to a max of 4, and +2 max HP. That's huge. Obviously, this would be one of the items they were holding, but the ability to hold 3 items on a character, because they occur sequentially, one after the other, can make for insane combos. Also, Pauldron, +2 to the top side, and -2 to the bottom. That would make for a much more effective Trapper. I'll take Bag of Holding, actually, because the extra max HP is already pretty good for the Berserker to have just by default. I'd love to snipe the sniper here, if that's possible at all. That's something we would accomplish with, there we go, this side that we ended up rolling. That's great. It can hit an enemy that is 4 or less HP. Check. At range. Check. Goodbye, sniper. Thankfully, the vampire hits the spiky enemy, but also heals themselves immediately afterwards. And I have the ability to defend the Berserker very effectively here. This'll do it. Make the enemy vulnerable, and then do a bunch of damage to him. Assassin or Weaver, our 3rd tier orange or blue. So Assassin has a 4 damage cruel side. So if the enemy is on lower than at or lower than half HP, they'll take 8 damage to this, twice its size. They also have 2 damage engage ranged sides, which would instantly kill these bones, and a 2 damage poison side, as well as an evade. Also having evade, the Weaver down here. On top of that though, they have 2 sides that are 3 mana single use, a side that's 3 mana, and then a side that is plus 0 mana charged. So it gives you an extra mana for each mana you have. It doubles your mana. Comes with the spell Crush. For 3 mana deal 3 damage to the top and bottom enemies. I'll take Assassin here. I love a source of poison. It's very, very, very helpful with a boss. The Assassin, interestingly to me, the Assassin is capable of being very, very potent early on in the fight with the poison or the ranged engage sides, and at the end of the fight with the 4 damage cruel sides and for surviving through dodge. Enemies trying to put poison on us. I don't like when they do that. I'm going to let the Berserker do their 3 damage side here rather than their 4 damage side, because they also don't take pain when they do their 3 damage side. Ooh, not great results for us. That's okay. Thankfully we take 2 bones off the field and do 4 damage to the remaining enemies. This is the Rotten as well. As a boss, the Rotten has all heroes get -1 HP, max HP rather, at the end of each turn. Down to a minimum of 1. They have 2 sides that summon an imp, 2 sides that do 1 damage poison cleave, and 2 sides that do 6 heavy damage. Speaking of heavy damage, I would love to do some heavy damage to the Rotten right now and activate the ability to hit it for cruel damage. Come on, Rotten, are you below half HP? 13 out of 23, you are not, damn. So my cruel hit only does 4 damage. Alas. Thankfully you are now below half HP. That said, I don't think I need to exploit that. Berserker, you're dying, so you can hit the enemy. And we'll get the Rotten down to 1 HP. Oh, they summoned an imp, so never mind, they're not going to run away. I should have continued rolling that turn rather than just accepting a reasonable hand, assuming that that was going to be fine. That's okay. A tie or a kite shield? The tie adds pristine to your middle side, which does twice its effect if you have full HP. Ooh, the Assassin having a pristine poison side is pretty good. Because you want to roll that at the start of the fight, and you're most likely to be on high health at the start of the fight as well. Kite shield, that'll be available for the Guardian. I'm going to take the tie. Assassins typically don't have to wear a tie to work. This one does. I imagine it'll be especially effective. Now, the Guardian, because there's 2 slates on the board, which have their HP required to remove individually, getting an AoE side on a Guardian is actually really good. This Assassin's also capable of taking out the Knoll in a single hit. That said, Berserker has also probably got the best side. I'm not gonna roll again trying to hit the cleave for the Berserker. Kill an enemy with exactly 6 HP. That's unfortunate. That's not gonna be able to help us take away these slates. Oh, never mind. Zap, kill an enemy with exactly 2 HP. That gets a slate down and defends our Sparky. Only 4 HP to remove from the final slate, and we got it. Pretty much ideal sides for us right here. And I'm also starting to try and use the hotkeys again, but I've forgotten what all of them are. I should check that in between episodes. Veteran and Wizard. Ooh. Veteran's not an especially exciting character, until you start to consider the fact that a lot of items want to synergize with characters that have very basic sides, and the Veteran has 6 basic sides. 2 of them do 3 damage, 2 of them do 4 damage, and 2 of them shield for 2. However, on the complete opposite end of the scale, we have the Wizard. The wizard has one side that says shield 1 single use perma boost. So you can only use this once a fight. It shields a character for 1 and then permanently boosts 1 extra pip to each of their sides the entire fight. It's very useful on the wizard himself, who also has 2 sides that shield 1 and gain 1 mana. So if you increase this by 1 pip, it's shielding for 2 and gaining 2 mana. It's far more effective, typically, to increase the pip size of something that has multiple different effects on it. There's also a 1 mana cantrip side. 2 mana cantrip could be cool. And 1 damage mana gain side. Could be upgraded to 2 with the wand, who knows? They also have Inspire, a spell that costs 4. Target hero can use their dice again. And it also has cooldown. I'll take that. Wizard's sick as hell. Up against a Ghost Demon and a Basilisk. Guardian rolls a pretty reasonable side for defense. We continue pushing with everyone else for the moment, though. With what I currently have, I'm capable of taking a Basilisk or a Demon out. I'm going to take the Demon out. Which is to say, I can get them to half health and then I can hit them with a Cruel Attack, and the Cruel Attack will do 8, taking them all the way down to nothing now. Unfortunately, this leaves the Ghost. Actually, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get enough mana to use Hex. 4 mana will give me the ability to kill the Ghost without even having to interact with it. That'll do it. I should probably continue rolling on the Assassin, Guardian, and Berserker here. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, let's instantly kill the Ghost. And I will get the Basilisk to die to poison. Fine, 15 out of 20. Yeah, this definitely is a shortcut. I've only just realized, fight 15 out of 20, this episode's probably going to go for maybe another 20 minutes at this point. Shortcut gives me the ability to record a lot. Could be cool, could be neat. There's also Learn Charge as a spell here. Charge, Shield 2, Boost, single cast. So for 2 mana, 3 mana for us. We can shield a target for 2, and that turn, it will have +2 to all of its pip value. That's like pretty good on the Guardian, who's double dipping via Engage, having twice its effect against higher HP targets, triple dipping with Cleave, double dipping again with the 1 damage W sides, or Metal Studs, +1 pip to all shield / self-shield sides, which does work for the Wizard's shielding and mana gain. I like all of this. I'm going to take Learn Charge because I think that's a really, really, really good spell. And that we'll be able to exploit it heavily. Okay, so we're up against a couple of snakes. And 2 alphas. I'm actually going to accept this complete roll here because I know I can do something pretty effective with it. So the alphas have 2 sides that do 2 damage cleave, have 2 sides that summon a wolf, so I don't want to let them live around for long, otherwise the round will fill wolves. Sorry, the enemy side will fill with wolves. As well as having 2 sides that do 6 damage, the snakes can poison us to differing degrees depending on what they roll. They all roll their lowest, thankfully. And there's another alpha. So, with 2 ways of doing 4 damage to a target via the Berserker and the Assassin right now, and 2 ways of doing 1 damage to a target with the Guardian, I'm just going to take 2 targets off the field. Simplify our process. The Vampire has the ability to heal the Berserker back up, and then I'll defend them as well. I let the Vampire be the person who takes the poison here because the Vampire has a self-heal side, so they're more likely to be able to respond. enemy with exactly 6 HP. Eh? Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that this turn. But if I use Infuse, I'll heal 1 to all allies, and it's cruel. Which means it'll do double that effect to allies that are lower than half HP, so that double heals both the Vampire and the Berserker, keeping them alive that round. While I get to ruin the enemies here. Come on, 1 more Death Wish side on the Berserker. Ah, no such luck. Unfortunately, I can get exceptionally close to the kills here, but both the Berserker and Vampire will still die before the end of the round, meaning they go into the next fight at half HP. Oh, the Forsaken was changed. Okay, so the Forsaken's leftmost side has revived the 3 top most defeated allies. And then they have 2 sides that heal 2 to all allies, 2 sides that do 3 damage and self-heal, and 1 side that gains 3 mana and damages the Forsaken. They also have Bind still as their spell. Target ally becomes immune to damage this turn. This has Deplete as a modifier, which means it gets 1 extra to its mana cost every time it's cast. And it, by default, costs 3. And then we have the Paladin. We saw the Paladin in the last episode. The Paladin would be very effective here still for being able to prevent the poison and weaken coming out of this enemy. But I don't know if I want damage from my Paladin right now. My Assassin is really good. Let's take Forsaken. I want to play with a new Forsaken. I haven't used this one. Wow, everyone's just targeting the Assassin, eh? No original thought. Fine by me. Just gonna take 2 spiders immediately off the field. Actually, I should defend the Berserker before they do that, because the Assassin's also not going to be taking their damage at the end of this turn. I'm just going to use a burst against the Spider, and then finish them off with the Guardian. There we go. So I didn't do anything to Tantis that turn, but I did take out 3 spiders, but then Tantis summoned 3 spiders. So realistically, I just lost HP on my Berserker and Forsaken that turn. That's all I accomplished. I don't really think of that as a particularly large accomplishment. Berserker, I really would prefer you to attack without killing yourself this turn. If I can boost the Forsaken side this turn, that'd be pretty sick. Boost the Forsaken so that shields them for 2, as well as gives them the ability to heal all for 4. Annoyingly, again, I'm not progressing here. Oh, thank you. The Assassin has finally rolled the poison side. Now, while I durdle like this, the fight will still progress. Yahoo. I give the single boost to the Forsaken, so the Forsaken is now healing all allies by 3. Forsaken's also going to be less useful next round, as we are triple weakened and triple poisoned. Don't love that. Oh, same thing's about to happen again to the wizard on the bottom side. Oof. Alright. There goes the assassin. And I'll defend the wizard with a burst, allowing Tantis to die. Only lose the assassin that fight. Sapphire Ring or the Lion. Sapphire Ring we've seen before. +1 pip to all mana / mana gain sides. Immediately, that's really good on the wizard. +1 pip is drastic on the wizard. And then Lion. Add Fierce to the 2 left sides. Fierce. Target flees if they have N or less HP after the attack. Oh. That's really cool. But the Berserker is about to upgrade. The Wizard can't use that. The Forsaken doesn't really want to use that. The Assassin doesn't really want to use that. I can't rely on the Berserker's upgrade or the Guardian's upgrade necessarily wanting that, but the Sapphire Ring is great for the Wizard right now, and the Wizard will always be on my team. Well, at least until the end of the episode. Oh my gosh. It's a great start. I use the Forsaken. I use the Wizard to give... Actually, does the Forsaken need the additional pip here? No, I'm gonna use the Wizard to buff themselves, so now they have a 3 mana cantrip side. If they roll that side, it gives them 3 mana. If I lock it and use it again, another 3 mana. Or shield a target for 3 and gain 3 mana. It's so useful. The Fnatic does a bunch of damage to themselves after I do damage to them too. Oh, they're targeting the assassin. If I dodge them this round, they die and I don't have to worry. I barely have to be involved. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So I will have to have an involvement here. Between the Forsaken and the Guardian, we can take the enemy out. The Troll is regenerating 1 health each round. I'm going to hit it with 4 poison. Just to make it much easier to remove. Forsaken, you can self-heal, that'd be great. Damn, the Wizard just rolled their blank side 2 spaces after. That hurts. Annoyingly, I will have to let the Berserker die here to poison. Okay. Let's get the demon on the top side. And then cruelly destroy them. I'll use a burst on the final remaining imp as well to try and get them to run away. They do. Indecisive. Undo 20 times. Yeah, that'll happen. Oh, wow. Poet has changed. Poet. Gain 1 mana cantrip. Left-hand side. They also have 2 sides that shield for 2, but they're charged, so they increase their magnitude by the amount of mana you have. Shield 2 to all allies, or shield 2 in cantrip. They also have a spell, Clink. For 4 mana, shield 1 to all allies. Boost and single cast. That's wild. And then the Eccentric. 2 sides that do 4 damage straight up, and a side that does 4 damage both to the target and the target below. That's really good for helping deal with these zombies, but also the Berserker is capable of dealing with these zombies right now as well. Yeah, let's take the Poet. I'm excited to play around with them. I should definitely defend the Wizard a large amount because I'm not going to be taking out the Demon this round. I'd love the Berserker to roll big damage, thank you. Because now I'm capable of taking out both zombies. And then I can go for the healing here. Defend the Berserker and the Wizard at the same time. Move to the next round. Very much looking to try and stun the Wizard this turn. Sorry, stun the Wiz in the back line of the enemies this turn. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Stunning them in the back line would be really good because it would prevent them from summoning 2 skeletons here. I'm going to instantly kill the... Perfect. Instantly kill the demon with a Hex, and that actually unlocked the ability to hit the backliner. 15 achievements! We've unlocked 2 features, Simple Events and Party Layout Choice. And there was another thing there that came up just a second ago that I can't see at the moment. That's fine. It was Victory Plus. Win 30 fights. We now have the mode to be able to choose our party. Spikestone and Timestone. We saw Spikestone in the last episode. Adds fumble and +3 pips to the middle column. We saw it as in we knew it existed. We didn't actually use it though. And Timestone adds cantrip to the 2 right sides. On the Wizard? Just gaining mana while rolling those sides on cantrip as well? I love it. That sounds great to me. Let's give the assassin the ability to just remove one of these snipers in the back line. 2 instances of 1 damage from the Berserker. We're actually getting pretty close to being able to just take out the Hydra straight up. In fact. Nope, now we can't. That's fine. Like, I did want to be able to do it, but I'll settle for the Wizard being ridiculously stacked now. Half of their sides give us 3 mana when we roll them. 2 of those sides do 3 damage to a random enemy as well. There's one of them. I'm not even going to reroll. I'll just keep that one. That one's good. I'm going to inspire the Wizard so I can hit another 3 damage attack on the Hydra. In doing so, setting them down to 6, giving me the ability to kill them with Hex. And then the next fight is going to be the boss fight. Just lock in the first thing that has the capability of taking out the enemies, Curator and Leader. Here's the unfortunate thing. Hexia is the boss fight. And Hexia OP. Which... is that still referenced in this? No. Where is it? One of these says Hexia OP at some point. It's a reference. But Hexia also tough. Hexia, on hit, attacker takes equal damage. And you don't know you're fighting Hexia before you get here. So if all of your characters only do melee damage, Hexia's gonna hurt. Also, whenever you use an ability, damage the bottom hero equal to its cost. So if I cast big spells, my Wizard die. I'm sad. I'll take the Curator here, who has an assortment of different sides. They have a 3 damage engage, they have a 1 damage charged, 2 damage rampage, 1 damage mana gain, 1 damage steal, and 1 damage error. Error being a new keyword here. +1 pip for each elapsed turn in the fight so far. I'm going to give the Wizard the additional +2 HP instead of the Curator because they are going to be under a lot of damage. Hexia has rolled 7 damage to send and inflicts pain. So both the assassin and curator are taking 7 damage, and next turn they will take additional damage whenever they use a move. Assassin can prevent themselves from dying this turn. Target hero can use their dice again this turn, would also be pretty good. I mean, I would really love to clear all of the imps off the field, like, really early on here. Hexia is now targeting the complete opposite side of Forsaken and Wizard. Wizard hits their best side, but it does require some investment. I don't need to take 4 damage to do 2 damage to Hexia this turn. Unfortunately, the wizard... Oh no, the wizard is capable of just rolling and dying immediately. Yeah, like that. Thankfully, the Forsaken does have the ability to bring them back, which is going to be pretty crucial here. I don't get it this turn. Let's give target immune to damage this turn to the Forsaken, who then will heal themselves. Oh boy. Hexia is now trying to... Oh, what happened? Oh no, there was an inflicted pain side on the poet, who then rolled it and took damage. Yep, that's how that goes sometimes. Assassin, I would love you to dodge here or something. That's perfect. There's the revival. Double revive! Revive 2 heroes in a single action. We're back in the game, baby! Unfortunately, the wizard no longer has the +1 to everything. I need more mana to get this. That'll do it. Let's give the I can no longer take damage this turn to the Forsaken. Then they can attack the enemy happily. Okay. They get to attack as well as heal at the same time because they're not taking damage to their own side that would otherwise be inflicting pain to them. Let's roll again. Even if Wizard, yep, hits the enemy, that's completely fine by us because it leaves the Curator with enough health. To be able to strike down Hexia. Hard-won fight there. Hexia has now died, unlocking the next monster, the Hand. Oh, cool. The Hand just can kill one of our characters, kills the topmost enemy. They also summon 3 sabers 2 times. We'll see what sabers are when we get to that fight. Have a 10 damage cleave, 7 damage to all enemies, a 4 damage poison cleave. But to even it out a little bit, they also give +1 pips to all sides for us. We've unlocked the ability to choose a party manually or completely randomly in the cool modes. But that's a completed shortcut mode right there, and for the moment, my name is Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Slice and Dice 3.0. The top left is a series playlist with all my content on this game, past, present, and future. YouTube's recommendation is down below, and streaming past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Our thank you, and a special thanks this episode to Coltart. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.